Acuzat pe nedrept, sergentul Wolf se hotărăște să-și facă singur dreptate.
What are you doing?
Working.
After what he's done to you?
I was turning tricks on the street for pocket change when he found me.
Atunci când ai dreptate, învață să te bați. Joi, un nou episod din serialul polițist plin de aventuri, rezolvate pe muche de cuțit de Jack Scalia, sergentul Wolf.
Ai pierdut horoscopul zilei? Nu-i nimic. Poți afla care sunt predicțiile astrale pentru săptămâna în curs, ori prognoza zodiei Vărsătorului pentru anul 1997. Sună la numărul de telefon 8989. Sunt Neti Sandu și te aștept 24 de ore din 24 la numărul de telefon 8989.
Uneori, realitatea depășește orice închipuire.
Hands where I can see him.
Păstrează contactul cu realitatea virtuală, cu orice preț, sâmbătă, la ProTV.
Domnilor și domnilor, bună seara! Invitatul emisiunii de astăzi este domnul Tom Lantos, membru al Camerei Reprezentanților din Congresul Statelor Unite. Reportajul care urmează încearcă să îl prezinte pe congresmenul american.
Tom Lantos a ajuns în Statele Unite ale Americii în 1947. A absolvit Facultatea de Economie a Universității Washington din Seattle, unde a obținut și masterul. Doctoratul în economie l-a căpătat la Universitatea California. Timp de 3 decenii, Tom Lantos a fost profesor de economie, analist de relații internaționale pentru postul public de televiziune și consultant pentru companii din zona Golfului San Francisco. De asemenea, a fost consilier principal în economie și politică externă, pe lângă unii membri ai Senatului American. Tom Lantos a fost ales în Congresul Statelor Unite ale Americii în 1980. În prezent, se află la cel de-al 9-lea mandat în Camera Reprezentanților din partea Partidului Democrat California. Congresmenul Lantos este copreședinte al Comitetului Bipartizan pentru Drepturile Omului și copreședinte al Delegației Permanente a Congresului Statelor Unite ale Americii în Parlamentul European. Tom Lantos a vizitat deseori România și cunoaște bine trăsăturile sociale, economice și politice ale țării noastre. Mult timp, el a ținut sub observație politica de emigrare, libertatea religioasă, problemele minorităților naționale și, în general, respectarea drepturilor omului, de care este legată acordarea clauzei națiunii celei mai favorizate către România.
Congressman Lantos, welcome to ProTV.
Pleasure to be here.
First of all, I would like to say that although you have been to Romania several times, perhaps since 70s or 80s, you know.
Even before.
Even before. You are a known figure, and although you are a known figure here, the Romania public only knows a little bit about your life, your personal history, your activity in the American Congress. Would you tell something about your activity firstly?
Well, I'll be very happy to. There are two individuals in government today, our Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, and myself, who were born in this part of Europe. Madeleine Albright.
It's a good sign for this region.
Well, I think it is a good sign because both Secretary Albright and I are very much interested in this region, and I think we understand the region. Secretary Albright and I also share the experience of having left our respective native countries, in her case Czechoslovakia, in my case Hungary, and opposed both Hitler and Stalin. So we know what totalitarian dictatorship is, and both she and I are passionately committed to democratic government. My wife is also from my native city of Budapest. We have been married for 47 years. We have 17 grandchildren, which is our greatest achievement.
That is, you are very related to this region.
I am fascinated by this region, and I think this region has enormous potential. And I'm devoting a good bit of my energy in the Congress of the United States to helping this region.
You have a very distinguished career in U.S. Congress since 1980.
That's correct.
And I understand you are beginning your 9th term.
Yes, a congressional term
US
is only
House of Representatives,
2 years.
which makes you a senior member of this institution.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about U.S. Congress today, the changes you have seen over the years you have served in the House, and some of the problems you see for the future? Yes.
Well, I think from the point of view of Romania in particular, it's very healthy to understand that in a free and democratic society, control of the Congress and of the executive branch changes. I went to the Congress in 1980, and we had a Democratic majority in the Congress, but we had a Republican president.
Now it's vice versa.
Now it's vice versa.
Yes.
I served for 8 years under the presidency of Ronald Reagan, 4 years under the presidency of George Bush, and 4 years under the presidency of my friend and fellow Democrat Bill Clinton, who of course has just begun his 2nd term. And we now have a rather interesting situation. We have a Democratic president and a Republican Congress. But there is one thing I would like to mention, which I don't think many people in Romania or anywhere else in Europe know. You know, in the United States we have about 260 million people. And of course we have well over 100 million people who vote. If there had been in specific congressional districts just 12,000 votes cast differently,
Change the situation.
we would now have a Democratic Congress. So it's very important not to misread what happened. 12,000 votes out of 100 million would have given the Democrats control of the House of Representatives.
Change the people in the representatives, but not the policy.
Well, some of the policies also. I think you are correct that the broad outlines of U.S. policy, particularly in the international arena, are fairly fixed. But there are changes, and there are more changes and more differences in the domestic arena. Democrats are more interested in certain issues of social welfare, health, education, environment than are Republicans.
I have in mind these guidelines of the policy, the base policy. And I have in mind, for example, the fact that in the new Clinton administration, the Secretary of Defense, it's a Republican and not a Democrat.
I think that's very healthy. I think the first thing to understand about the functioning of a democratic society, that it always operates on the basis of a compromise. Now, compromise in some people's mind is a negative word. In my dictionary, it's a very positive word. Compromise means I am not right 100% and you are not right 100%. We both have points of view and they have to be adjusted.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, as I mentioned, you have been an observer of the Romania for many years and probably know Romania better than any other American congressman. And in the past, you visited Romania in order to discuss immigration, or even, I dare to say, to monitor the immigration policy, generally
human rights.
Human rights. In relation with the most favored nation status for Romania,
right.
Yes. How do you find Romania now?
Much better, much better. As a matter of fact, as you may remember, some years ago, I very strongly opposed granting most favored nation treatment to Romania. And the last time when the issue came up, I led the fight to grant most favored nation treatment to Romania. It's a very healthy development. I think Romania today has a far better understanding of what a political democracy is, what a free society is, than was the case some years back. I think the very fact that you had a peaceful change of the government, the first time since 1928,
Yes.
1928, which is a long time, 69 years, is the single most important thing about Romania that we in the Congress are mindful of. The strength of a political system is the ability to change peacefully. And Romania has successfully passed that.
To accept the others.
That's right.
Yes, yes, sir.
And to understand that maybe 4 years from now or 5 years from now there will be a change back and then again another change. I think the important thing is not so much whether Group A or Group B is sitting in the seat of power, but that there is an opportunity for peaceful and democratic change. That's the key lesson of democracy.
Congressman, you mentioned this, that you were lawmakers for the granting the most favored nation in a permanent base
Yes.
for Romania last year. But many people in Romania, because they thought you are only a critics of the Romanian realities, considered this kind of thing as a reverse or a turnabout.
Well, you know,
of your position.
Yes.
Could you explain this?
I'll be very happy to. My motto is that minds are like parachutes. They work only when they are open.
Okay.
If your mind is not open, it isn't working. My position has always been that as Romania moves towards a greater degree of democracy, a greater degree of freedom, a greater degree of respect for ethnic rights, for religious freedom, for the right of people to emigrate, Romania should be treated accordingly. And when I was here, I have experienced the degree of improvement in the situation, which to me warranted supporting most favored nation treatment for Romania. Nothing pleases me more than when a government starts out in a negative way and then improves, then becomes more open and more democratic. Of course, the elections, which by general agreement were fair and open and free elections, and I think Romania deserves to feel very proud.
I intended to ask you for your interpretation, and certainly the American political circles interpretation about our last elections.
Well, I think across the board, among Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives, there was one basic conclusion, that these were free and fair and open elections, and Romania has passed the test of a democratic society. It succeeded in transferring authority peacefully from one government to another government.
Who will you be meeting with during this visit?
Well, I will be meeting with political leaders across the political spectrum. Dinner with the president, I'll be seeing the prime minister, other leaders of government and the opposition. That is basically what I do when I visit other countries, and it's a very healthy thing for someone from the American government and the American Congress to maintain contact with political parties across the spectrum.
I know that you also be traveling to Hungary.
Yes.
Can you tell us what your objectives or aims for this visit, and with whom you will be meeting?
Well, I visit fairly regularly, and I see the political leadership again across the political spectrum of parties. One of the things, you know, that a member of Congress does is he specializes in some areas. There are some of my colleagues whose specialty is nuclear waste disposal. There are other colleagues whose specialty is air transportation. If I have any specialty, it is a specialty with respect to Europe and the former Soviet Union and the Middle East. So this is the region that I keep coming back to, because this is where I have some degree of expertise. And this is the opportunity for me to keep up to date and to advise people in the administration, whether it be the Secretary of State or the President or the Vice President, about conditions in this part of the country.
Yes, another point. As I am sure you are well aware that Romania has a strong desire to become a member of NATO, and over the years has and is still making a great effort to obtain this aim now. But do you agree with the administration's policy regarding NATO and enlargement, NATO enlargement? And do you expect Romania to be invited finally to join NATO?
Well, let me first state what the administration's policy is with respect to NATO, because I'm not quite sure it is clearly understood. The administration, and I totally support this, is in favor of NATO enlargement. The administration's position is that as countries become democratic, as economic reform takes place, as human rights, religious rights, ethnic rights, minority rights are fully respected, then countries become eligible for NATO membership. NATO membership is a privilege. I personally believe very strongly, I am convinced of this, that Romania will become a member of NATO. The timing is obviously a question, and the timing is, in my judgment, much less important than the process. Romania and all the other countries that are interested in membership need to view NATO membership as a gradual evolution. My feeling is that by having had free elections, Romania passed a very important obstacle in the way of becoming a NATO member. Had these elections not been free, you and I would not be talking about NATO membership.
I think it's quite sure this.
I think it's extremely important to underscore this. So, because Romania had free elections, NATO membership is a topic that is timely and worth discussing. Now, I think it's important also to understand in the scheme of things that whether NATO membership takes place in year X or year Y is not that important. What is important is that Romania participate in the process. I will support Romania being invited to explore NATO membership with the first group of countries that will be invited to explore NATO membership. That, I think, is the key. Romania should be given an opportunity to make its case to the 16 NATO members along with the others, and when Romania meets the objective criteria for becoming a NATO member, I will strongly support Romania's membership in NATO. I think Romania is part of the West, and membership in NATO, as indeed as membership in the European Union, is the 21st century recognition of this.
Congressman, even if it's not a matter of official statements, but some days ago, the influential International Herald Tribune published a paper which left Romania without any hope for NATO membership, because saying that is together with Bulgaria and Albania is considered a poor country, very bad student in economic reform, and this paper said also that it's a matter of new Iron Curtain dividing the Europe, and perhaps they gave the chance for NATO membership only to Hungary, Czech Republic, and Poland, and eventually Slovenia. Certainly it's not a matter of official statements, but it's an influential newspaper.
Well, you know, every newspaper writer is entitled to his or her opinion. I take a very different point of view. Let me first deal with some economic realities. It's obvious to all of us that economic conditions and the standard of living in Romania today is considerably below that of the three countries you mentioned, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Poland. What perhaps is less well known, that one of the reasons why the economies of those countries are performing so much better is because they have had much more economic reform, and because of that, they attracted much more foreign investment. Let me just give you two statistics. In broad terms, per capita, foreign investment in Hungary is about $1,300. Per capita, foreign investment in Romania is between $50 and $60. So there is a 20-to-1 or 25-to-1 discrepancy. Now there are reasons for this, and these reasons will have to be overcome. They won't be overcome in one day, but Romania, having now graduated in terms of a free election and the peaceful transfer of political power, has one more graduation ahead of it. And that is democratic reform. Privatization, reform must take place if the Romanian economy is to be strong enough to be admitted to NATO. Political change, which the elections represented, is a very important obstacle. The second obstacle is economic change, and that has to take place.
Yes, but in the new condition, do you think that it's possible that Romania attract new and great American and Western investors?
That depends on the policies that this government will pursue, and we don't know yet what those policies are.
Yes, okay, but you know very well many American investors.
Yes, I do.
What they want?
They want the kinds of conditions that will make investment in Romania profitable. You need to understand that we are living in a globalized economy. If there is an American company X which is considering investing $100 million or $500 million or $1 billion, it has the option of investing it in Taiwan, Singapore, Indonesia,
Anywhere.
China, Poland, the Czech Republic, or any place. Romania must be competitive with all of the other options. And if Romania, and as Romania becomes competitive, it will get its fair share. You need to understand that the foreign investors who chose to invest $1,300 per capita in Hungary and only $50 or $55 here did not do it for any reason other than they thought that investment there was more profitable, more reasonable, likely to yield better results than investment here. That is what needs to be changed.
Yes, as you are well aware, Romania and Hungary, because you mentioned many times Hungary, signed a basic treaty in last September, and which has been ratified by the parliaments in the both countries. Do you support this treaty?
Not only
because it's not secret that it's saying that generally America, that is not only the administration from Washington, but also the Congress put pressure for this bilateral treaty between Budapest and Bucharest.
Well, I don't agree that any pressure was put either on Bucharest.
Encouragement.
Well, let me phrase it differently. First of all, I don't agree that any pressure was put either on Budapest or Bucharest to ratify the treaty. I strongly supported ratification of the treaty because ratification of the treaty meant for both Romania and Hungary a normalization and stabilization of relations. And I think it's probably quite true that had the treaty not been ratified, there would be a very serious question about NATO membership for either country. NATO is not interested in importing a dispute, a problem among two members. We have had a great deal of difficulty, as you know, over the years between two NATO members, Turkey and Greece. And NATO is not interested in getting another set of problems. So by ratifying the treaty, both the Romanian government and the Hungarian government did the right thing for their own people. I strongly supported it before ratification, and I want to express my appreciation to both governments at the time for doing it.
But how do you think it will change the relationship between this treaty, change the relationship between Hungary and Romania?
It will make it more normal. When you reach an international agreement, there always is some give and take. Many people thought that the Germans and the French will never be able to live together. They had 3 wars in 2 generations, in 1870, in 1914, in 1939, and now they are fully integrated not only in NATO but in the European Union. I look forward to a similar development between Romania and Hungary.
You arrived last night from Kiev, and I'm sure that you are aware that Romania and Ukraine are negotiating a basic treaty. Can you tell us something about how the Ukraine sees this treaty and the ongoing negotiation?
Well, just as I supported the conclusion of the treaty between Romania and Hungary, I support the conclusion of the treaty between Romania and Ukraine. The details of the negotiations clearly need to be handled by the 2 parties. The United States takes no position. But I think it's important to realize that these long-standing problems in this region, one by one, will have to be resolved if the region is to be integrated into Europe. So just as the Hungarian-Romanian treaty is a step forward. I look forward to seeing the Ukrainian-Romanian treaty consummated.
Will a future signing of this treaty, in addition to the one already signed with,
Yes.
With Hungary, help Romania's NATO membership?
It will help Romania's acceptance as a democratic country of Europe that settles its international disputes. So there is no question in my mind that the more stable the situation in the region, the more likely entry into NATO will become possible. You don't need to be looking too far to realize the enormous difference between, say, the situation involving the Czech Republic and the situation involving the former Yugoslavia. NATO is not interested in importing religious, ethnic, nationalistic conflicts into its orbit. The reason you mentioned Slovenia is because Slovenia is the only constituent entity of the former Yugoslavia which both economically and politically has attained a position where NATO membership is a possibility. Clearly, Milosevic and his policies in Serbia do not even make NATO membership a topic of discussion. Countries in this region must solve their problems. They must gradually diminish their racial and ethnic and minority hatreds. They must become part of the civilized world. The television pictures we saw out of the former Yugoslavia in recent years clearly indicates that they have a long ways to go.
Congressman, almost all analysts admit that NATO enlargement will not be so as to include all the candidates in the same time. From this, the so-called waves theory. But many people said that the first wave will be the last one. Do you think will be a second wave of this enlargement?
I don't think it's really accurate or helpful in terms of looking at waves. NATO, and I will be participating from the point of view of the American Congress in these decisions. NATO will look at each individual country as a separate applicant. We're not talking about waves, we are talking about countries. And when country A qualifies on the basis of objective criteria, country A will be admitted. I am convinced, I am absolutely convinced, that admission to NATO will be strung out over several years. And as various countries become eligible to entry, they will be invited to enter. So the notion that there will be one group of countries allowed to enter NATO and then the door is closed is not accurate.
Congressman, it's no secret that in Romania there are many people who are afraid with the eventuality that Hungary will enter NATO and Romania will not enter. And this preoccupation is related to what's happened with the relation between Romania and Hungary in that case. It's impossible to avoid or not to take into consideration this possibility. Have you a comment in this field, in this respect?
Yes, I do. I very much hope relations between Hungary and Romania will undergo a continuing process of improvement and strengthening. irrespective of the date of entry of one or both of these countries into NATO. I think the two issues are separate issues. Hungary and Romania have every reason to improve their political, economic, cultural, social interrelationships. And becoming members of NATO will assist along these lines. But I think it's a completely mistaken notion to view these issues as being intertwined, as being inseparable. Romanian and Hungarian relations should improve steadily for the benefit of both countries, irrespective of the date at which one or the other will be invited to become a member of NATO.
But some people thought that will be some practical consequences. For example, there are problems of visa, with other, with the circulation, with the population free movement from over the border, and this is why some people worry what's happened in that case. If, for example, the first will be the Hungary, and after that Romania, and what's happened during this this time of this gap of time, no?
Well, the people who think this way create a relationship where no relationship exists. It's perfectly possible that some countries in this region, like the Czech Republic, will have no visa requirement irrespective of its membership in NATO, or irrespective of when that membership will come about. I think people create problems where really none exist. I understand the feeling in Romania. I understand that Romania wants to become a member of NATO. I support that general policy. But I think there is an almost unhealthy fixation on dates. I don't think it's helpful to Romania to have that fixation. And my feeling is that the average Romanian is far more interested in his own living conditions, in his opportunity to provide for his family a better life, than the particular moment when Romania will become a member of NATO.
Yes, the stake of this NATO membership is not only military or political. It's, for the Romanian, I think it's a matter of the new way of life,
I agree.
The new culture.
I agree.
This is a stake, and perhaps this has the worries, or they are afraid of such kind of thing that it's out the control.
Well, you know, no place should be more conscious of the passage of time than this region of Europe. There are long-term developments here.
Yes, certainly.
You know, push-button solutions are not realistic in the international arena. And I am of the opinion that the people of Romania should be very proud of the fact that they had free and open elections, a peaceful transfer of authority, and that we in the United States and our friends in Western Europe are seriously engaged with Romania concerning Romania's entry into the European Union and into NATO. That is the issue. As we have a saying in the United States, which you will need to translate properly, keep your eye on the donut and not on the hole.
Yes, yes. But does the United States have any specific expectation from the new government, Romanian government?
No different than from any of the other governments in this region. A full respect for human rights, religious rights, minority rights, ethnic rights. There are still some problems clearly in this country with respect to the issue of women. Women do not have the same economic opportunities that men do. There is still a very serious concern with respect to domestic abuse of women. There is still very serious concern in the West, certainly a very serious concern on my part, of the treatment of the Roma community and of individual members of that community. So I think it's important to focus on the remaining problems rather than to have a fixation on a specific date.
Yes, but as a result of the elections and the formation of a new government, the UDMR, that is the representative of the Hungarian minority in Romania, participate directly in the government.
Yes.
How is perceived this Hungarian minority representative participation directly in the Bucharest government?
I think it's very
in the United States.
I think it's very healthy. The Hungarian ethnic community represents an enormously important segment of Romania's population. It is extremely constructive in terms of its economic and cultural contributions, and it is long, long overdue that they be given part of the power of the government. I think President Constantinescu deserves credit for having included in a significant way the Hungarian ethnic minority, as indeed they should be included. The strength of the American government is that we have cabinet members who are, in terms of their ethnic background, black, Italian, every conceivable nationality, religious group. That is what gives the United States its strength. And when all the countries in this region understand that diversity is the basis of America's strength, they will have learned a very valuable lesson.
But do you believe that UDMR can do more for the Hungarian community inside of government, or
of
more
course,
than outside?
You always do more inside the tent than outside the tent. When the first cabinet member of African American origin was appointed to our cabinet, that enhanced the power and prestige of that community. When the first African American became a member of our Supreme Court, that strengthened the position and prestige of that community. Not long ago, the top military officer of the United States, Colin Powell, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, performed extremely well in that job, and that enhanced the respect of that community. The answer is obvious. I want to see the Hungarian ethnic minority be given more and more opportunity to contribute to the development and strength of this society. Look at Switzerland. Yes. Look at Switzerland. It's a perfect example. German, Swiss, French, Swiss, Italian, Swiss, all contribute to the strength of that very strong, very wealthy, very powerful nation.
And perhaps the Hungarian minority from Romania, Hungary, and perhaps the Hungarian diaspora will have no motivation to say that in Romania there are no rights for the Hungarian minority.
No, obviously that can no longer be said, because the facts speak for themselves. You have cabinet members, you have important local officials, as indeed should be the case.
Yes. The last question, because the time is almost over. You encourage the foreign investment in Hungary.
Yes.
Do you plan to encourage also the American investment in Romania?
I will do two things. I will encourage the Romanian government reasonable, profitable, likely. And when those conditions are established, I will very strongly encourage foreign investment in Romania.
Viitorul tău comunică prin noi. Intrarom, echipamente electronice de telecomunicații.
La mulți ani, bunico!
Ce frumoși sunt copiii!
Da, însă bluza lui Lili e mai puțin albă decât toate celelalte.
Folosești înălbitorul potrivit?
Păi...
Nu-mi spune că nu folosești Clorox.
Alți înălbitori pot îngălbeni țesătura. Clorox nu o face. Cu noul său sistem activ de înălbire, Clorox asigură o înălbire completă tuturor rufelor albe.
Uite, bunica folosește deja noul Clorox, iar acesta este darul ei pentru tine.
Noul Clorox cu sistem activ de înălbire.
Congressman Lantos, thank you very much. And I would like to say that I'm feeling more comfortable seeing that Congressman Lantos is here in Romania, perhaps for the first time, not as an observer, but simply, let me say and let me hope, as a supporter of Romania. And that means Romania has been changed and is changing.
Well, it's always a pleasure for me to come as a friend to a democratic country, and Romania, through its election, demonstrated that it is a democratic country.
Thanks a lot again.
Thank you.
Și dumneavoastră, doamnelor și domnilor, vă mulțumesc pentru atenție și vă aștept săptămâna viitoare la o nouă emisiune Față.